Coffee, you could say, is really the thing that fuels us, empowers us, especially in these times. Now there's so many types and kinds, you can really find it anywhere.
Have you ever been? Have you ever been to
But what people don't know is that drinking coffee, just a cup of coffee, can actually be one of the most environmentally friendly things you could do.
magic carpet waits for you? Don't be late. I wanna show you different emotions. I wanna ride through sun and motion. Oh, I will let your woman wait for you.
Coffee is a bush. Actually, it's a natural understory crop from East Africa. So they took the shade-loving bush and put it in a tropical climate, and it prospered. So it grows at high altitudes in a belt around the equator in the tropics. And ideally, it grows at altitudes of at least 1,500 feet to really preserve that moisture. Coffee loves to live in the trees. It loves the shade. Nature is really the mother of the coffee. Shade-grown coffee is coffee that has tall trees over it that provide shade, and the shade is like a forest. Since coffee is a forest plant, you may not be able to plant as densely in shade, but you plant far more closely to the natural environment. You're not trying to block out the sunlight with the trees, but achieve a dappled look, so that the sun comes through, but there is shade. There is cool, so that there's moisture.
Hayibuza igama layo ayiphendulanga yabheka phansi yaze yakhala izinyembezi.
Though it might sound strange, shade-grown coffee plantations can be some of the most ecological, diverse places in the world. Migratory birds spend more time in the tropics than they do nesting in North America. To survive long enough to migrate back north, they have to find suitable living conditions in the winter months. In shade-grown coffee farms, due to the diverse selections of shade trees, flowering trees, and shrubs, provide a great deal of that habitat. Unfortunately, society's quest for a cheaper coffee in the late 50s and 40s has caused thousands of this precious land to be deforested.
There's music in the breeze. I never saw the stars so bright. There's something in the air.
This type of growing is called sun-grown. A sun-grown coffee produces more cherries, which are coffee beans, per hectare than shade-grown. But there's a trade-off. On one hand, you have much higher yields, but because of the way it's grown, there's also a lot of issues. Over a long time, it causes soil erosion, water contamination, not to mention all the chemicals the workers and the plants are exposed to. Next to tobacco, coffee is sprayed with more chemicals than any other product consumed by humans. Shade-grown coffee is most often organically grown. Shade coffee requires no chemical pesticides or herbicides because the birds feed on the bugs, so they kind of act as a natural pesticide. And the trees filter carbon dioxide, and their roots prevent erosion. And so shade-grown coffee is not new. It was actually the first and only way of farming coffee until the mid-20th century. You choose the most beautiful big red berry, and that will eventually become a seed planted in a nursery that will eventually become a plant. Then it's a year-long process of clearing the weeds from this new plant and making sure it has the right amount of sun but also the right amount of shade. It usually takes about 3 years to get its first coffee cherries, and it usually grows up to about 2 meters. And usually one coffee shrub can produce harvests, if it's healthy, for 15 to 30 years. When the cherries first emerge, they're normally green, Then, in late September, they start to turn bright red and are ready to harvest. The harvest usually takes about 4 months, and that whole time, from sunup to sundown, the workers and the owners of the farm pick. About 2 weeks after a picking, a small white flower forms where the cherry used to be. They say you can go to bed at night, everything will be green, then you can wake up and thousands of lavender-scented flowers perfume the mountainside. Then the flowers fall off in 3 to 4 days, and a green cherry takes its place, and the cycle starts back over. For coffee to be sustainable, it has to be sustainable for everyone. The roaster, the buyer, the farmer, the worker, for all the people involved in the supply chain. Shade-grown coffee is really one of the best ways we can help the environment that will help us. You need to plant for the future and grow for the future. That is what sustainability is. Normally, one of the best ways to know if your coffee is shade-grown is actually to see what country it is grown in. Coffees produced from Panama, Nicaragua, El Salvador, and southern Mexico are primarily shade-grown, while coffees produced in northern Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, and Colombia and Brazil are mostly sun-grown. Also, on the bag, the labels should say things like either shade-grown, bird-friendly, fair trade, or organic. These normally mean that they are shade-grown and don't have pesticides or herbicides used on them. I mean, shade-grown coffee is really the best way to start your day. It makes you feel good, but just by drinking it, it can really enhance the flavor of the coffee and the environment.